Hey, what's up, guys? Michael Rosado here. Just wanted to kick off the year 2022 with a short introduction into what this YouTube channel will bring. Last year, I started back into the sport of triathlon after about a 2 or 3 year hiatus. Ended up getting a few personal records in the 70.3 distance and the Olympic distances. My first race of the season, if you saw some of my previous videos, was Panama City Beach. That was kind of by default. I was supposed to race an Olympic as a lead-up race to Panama City Beach 70.3, but ended up, training and doing I ended up training and getting a few time trials and test workouts underneath my belt that I think really helped in spite of not racing before my first big triathlon event back. So ended up with a good result in my 70.3 at a 4-hour 36-minute finish, and that ended up qualifying me for 70.3 Worlds with my placement at Panama City. And Worlds was an incredible experience. I didn't have my best race or best execution. It was definitely a new ball game for me, racing against the elites out there. The Worlds race ended up kind of being largely a North American representation, but there was quite a bit of other folks that did make the journey to St. George, Utah, and a lot of the studs from North America made the race as well. And I ended up finishing, I think, 5 hours and 15 minutes, which was technically my slowest 70.3 of all. But the course that day was arguably the slowest and most challenging day I think most anyone that has raced a 70.3 has tackled. So I was really fortunate to race at World 70.3. That's the Ironman World Championship 70.3. That was in St. George, Utah. And building off of that race, I ended up kind of going a little bit different direction. For about a month or two, I joined the Team Florida Track Club, coached by Enoch Nadler. Shout out to you, Enoch, and Team Florida Track Club, and did about a 6 to 8 week build up towards Tom Walker Memorial Half Marathon here in Gainesville, Florida. That's run on the Hawthorne Trail. And I surprised myself. I had a great day. It was a cooler weather day down in Florida in November, and ended up with about a 1:17:30 half marathon and a first place finish amongst some competitive locals, and really was pleased with the result. Again, thank you for Team Florida Track Club kind of getting me prepared for that race. And using that my run fitness over the course of last year was challenging. I was dealing with a couple leg injuries, really just one leg injury in particular, but was able to strengthen that, work it out, get it to about 100% come race day at the Tom Walker Half Marathon. Kind of as a result, though, I think with the cooler weather and a little bit of the hills that we tackled in that race, I ended up straining my left calf. Luckily, it was just a strain, but I was using the run buildup and the half marathon to also train for an Olympic distance triathlon down in Key West. And after that half marathon, I did have a lot of confidence in my race result, but the left calf strain definitely put my running definitely at bay, and I had to figure out how to get to the Olympic race distance safely, and with either no injury or minimal issues in my leg. And really after doing some research and understanding how the body responds to a strain or a pull, I read up on a lot of things, and basically it said just rest it. Don't stretch it. Don't continue to put any of that stretching strain on it. Don't do any calf raises, things like that. Fortunately, you know, I did test myself in the water and also on the bike, and my water and bike, excuse me, my swims and my bike were not affected. So I was able to get some quality, you know, threshold work in the pool, doing, you know, repeat 100s, which I found to be a very effective Olympic distance workout, about 10 by 100, and, you know, hitting those around 120 pace, maybe a little quicker, a little bit slower. You know, if I'm descending, I'll start at 125 and try to bring it down to sub 120. That's in a 25-yard pool. And for, you know, the bike workouts, I was really focusing on just getting some good quality. I wasn't hitting the volume like I was for the 70.3s in my short build to the Olympic, but was you know, focusing on doing quality interval sessions somewhere along the lights of like a 6 by 3 minute on, and I would build that to, you know, 6 by 4 minutes, 6 by 5 minutes, with about a 1 to 2 minute rest in between, depending on the day. I did find doing about performing an 8 by 4 minute at threshold, pretty much my goal power and goal pace work, really was a great workout. It extended me, you know, just enough to be able to break down some of the muscles and, you know, recover from those workouts properly. And I focused on, you know, definitely not hammering my long rides, but I did shorten my long rides a little bit. I was doing about 3-hour rides for my 70.3s, and I shortened my long rides back to about 2 hours, 2 hours 30, you know, with some quality, you know, about an hour worth of, you know, tempo work in those, and attacking the hills. A couple things, you know, that definitely boded well for, you know, the Olympic, especially, you know, if you have U-turn where you have to sprint and get out of the saddle and get back up to speed, or if you're hitting, you know, a short climb or passing someone, you definitely have to be able to accelerate. So I took the opportunity on my long rides to practice a few of those things as well. But I ended up with a great result in the Key West Olympic Triathlon, and I raced with my buddy Kurt Barnhill and a couple friends down there, and we actually went toe to toe. He finished 3rd overall, I finished 4th, and a time of around, I think, 2 hours 6 minutes and change. I don't remember the exact seconds, but we Kurt and I battled to the end. He stayed in front of me on the bike. We pretty much kept the same distance on the bike, and you know, on the swim, we started as a time trial swim, so I was just in front of him, but we had almost the exact same swim split. Both of us left transition in T1 around the same time, again, kept the same distance on the bike, and then in T2, we came out neck and neck. And definitely thank you, to Kurt Barnhill for pushing me and being a great training partner. We did a couple training sessions over the year and our build-ups to 70.3s. So, you know, big shout out to him as well. And, you know, from that race, I definitely felt like I gained my confidence back, and I wanted to kind of go back a little bit. I did get ahead of myself there, you know, with my calf. I was definitely, you know, a little bit worried about my calf and how I was going to respond, but I was able to maintain fitness with my swim and bike. So the biggest thing is I learned how to not, you know, freak out and completely go into, you know, hey, I'm not going to do well at this race mode, or negative self-talk. You know, I just listened and, you know, learned from the research and learned from the suggestions from the professional community. Hey, you know, just focus on what you can do, you know, get the quality workouts in on your bike. And that fitness definitely carried me through on the run. I was able to split about 38, I think 40, 10K, which was, you know, a solid 10K time. I definitely was looking to go a little quicker. I think with, you know, 100% being healthy and getting a couple quality workouts in, running wise, I would have hit a little bit better time, right around, you know, 36, 37 minutes off of a quality bike. But overall, I hit about, you know, 2 hours 6 minutes and change, and that was my PR Olympic race. So I'm really pleased to have ended 2021 with 2 PRs, and, you know, going into 2022 here, my goal race is Augusta 70.3, which is in September. And here we're sitting in January, and I have a solid plan, I think, in place. I'd love to share that with you. I won't go into that right now, but I do want to send, you know, put together a few videos kind of sharing some, you know, weekly or bi-weekly training updates, just go through some of the key workouts that I did and go through kind of the overall, training plan in terms of what did the blocks look like. But kind of as a preface, to those videos, essentially I'm going to have a build up with a sprint phase, which would be the shorter sprint distances, focusing on, some speed and some maximum power, do some open run races, get my run back to where I want it to be, and maybe do a couple good bike workouts and maybe some swim. There's a couple little local swim meets here with, I believe, Swag is putting on an event that's run by Karen Austin here in Gainesville, and do a pool swim race. I think they do up to about 500 yards. That's kind of perfect swim testing as well. And I'll do some other TTs just to make sure that everything's going well. So my plan is to do a sprint phase, an Olympic phase, for 2 to 3 months after the sprint phase, and then build for Augusta 70.3. So definitely excited. This is a long video, just me driving and talking, but a lot of my thoughts kind of from 2021 I think are carrying over into 2022 that are motivating and positive. So I can't wait to get to it. I'm actually hitting a long run today. My long runs, I have shortened up a little bit in terms of time. I'm doing pretty much strictly like hour 20, hour 30 long runs, not much further for now. I'll probably increase those for sure once I start my 70.3 phase, but that's a few months out. But my long runs are pretty much structured as an easy pace for the most part. If I'm increasing my time, by volume and or mileage, I'm typically just going to use that as the stimulus and maintain, my easy, steady pace. As I get up to the hour 30, hour 40 mark on the top end and level that out a little bit, I'll definitely incorporate some long runs where they, basically at an hour 20, hour 30, a little bit shorter, but I'll add some quality to that with some quality faster finishes at the end. Maybe a couple repeat miles or just some pickups, like pickups every 5 minutes, just 1 minute pickups, and repeat that 6 times in the last 30 to 40 minutes of the long run, just to maintain some of that neuromuscular fast twitch and recruitment of those fast twitch muscles as well. Especially kind of racing more of a threshold race with the sprints, Olympics, and even for me, the 70.3s, threshold is going to be a key kind of development opportunity for me this year. So I'm excited. Definitely working on delivering some great quality content on my YouTube channel, and I hope you guys enjoy it and follow along for more. All right, y'all, let's get to the long run, and we'll see you later.